questions.
Let's do it.
How's life? How's life, running the La Jolla Group?
Yeah, it's been good. It's
How long
exciting.
Has it been now?
I'm in my 5th year actually.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about where you were at before and why you decided to come over here.
Well, I've been with the company now for 12 years, and prior to here, I kind of came up through the industry. It's been it works.
It looks like you're looking.
It's been about 16 years now in the industry, and I started at a really small surf company right out of college, and kind of did general office management and got the opportunity to look at all the different functions that, operating functions, within a small business, and kind of learned a lot and worked my way through production, operations, office management, learned all the ins and outs, and was able to parlay that into a position at No Fear, where I was a pre-production manager. So then in pre-production, I got a good look at how to build apparel and spec sheets and tech packs that go off to factories to have product made overseas. So I really kind of got the ABCs down on how to build a garment. And from there, I kind of moved through the system at No Fear, was a production manager, then was VP of manufacturing, was there about 3 years. Had a quick stay at Rip Curl and landed at O'Neill, and have been here for 12 years.
And what were you doing at O'Neill when you made this switch?
So when I started, I was VP of manufacturing. So again, I was handling kind of all of the production and overseas relations with the factories and having product built. So that was kind of my foundation and background. And then I quickly moved into operations at O'Neill, and kind of was instrumental in bringing in the computer systems and the technology and the distribution center and the ins and outs of that. We'll see that today. It's a operating machine because we ship so much product in and out of here, having 5 brands. So I was in operations, VP of operations, then moved to chief operating officer, and then got the opportunity almost 5 years ago now to be CEO.
Full ship, huh?
Yeah, and at the time we were managing, 2 brands, and O'Neill and Lost, and the portfolio's grown to 5.
Right, so let's talk a little bit about that, because you guys have grown significantly, and the type of brands are really sort of cutting edge and different, and not what we're seeing, from the typical traditional surf brands.
I mean, our vision and mission has been to become, the world's premier youth apparel licensing company, and that's kind of where, with that mission, where everything started, to diversify our portfolio with a number of different brands that kind of sit in that youth apparel space. So if you look at the retail floor these days, it's very diverse. There's surf, skate, moto, street, and a number of fashion brands as well, all put together, on one retail floor. And that's kind of how we've assorted our portfolio brand-wise to kind of speak to each one of those categories.
Right.
And it's been, extremely successful for us. And we've kind of stuck to our laurels of being, a licensing company, and that we, bring partners in, look for the best of partners that fit our portfolio and help them build their brands.
Okay.
So.
And Lost was one of the early ones, and they've recently.
Yeah, we had Lost for 10 years, and because of the saturation within our surf portfolio, having O'Neill and Rusty as well, we decided to focus on the bigger properties. And it kind of sets us up to further diversify the portfolio and bring in some of the hotter categories that are happening now in youth apparel. Moto, skate, those are things that we feel we can add depth to. So we're working on some things in 2011 that I think are super exciting, and we'll tell you when they land. And some are right around the corner, so we'll definitely be having some exciting news coming out of the La Jolla Group in 2011.
Okay, perfect. Talking about expanding the portfolio, you introduced So Rad, is it, at Agenda? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's a segment of Rusty's line, and really born. I mean, Rusty, had kind of declined in size, over probably a 5-year period prior to us taking on the license. When we took on the license, we first started in kind of organizing the product and bringing it back to life, and part of that was the Wired series, and the HB3 technology, which is the hooded sweatshirts with the earbuds and the drawstrings. And from there, we kind of started to really make traction at retail, and it gave us the opportunity to kind of expand our sites product-wise. And thus we looked at skateboarding as being part of the history of Rusty, and brought back a line that was organized around a pro skater, Joey Brzezinski, and have done a lot of product collaborations in the So Rad collection, and just is an exciting twist for a brand that has a ton of history not only in surf but in skate as well.
Remind me, when did you guys pick up Rusty?
That was in 2008.
Okay, so fairly recently.
Yeah, so we've had it about 3 years now. Yeah, it's all built upon diversification and not being too weighted in one of the categories in youth apparel. And we've built a facility here that kind of speaks to having all of these different brands. And really one of the ways that we organized this building was to give everybody their separate space. And we needed to do that because creatively we don't want the brands crossing lines. So, what you'll see today is that the design and creative departments are housed separately within the building. And each brand is given its own domain, so that there's an opportunity for the creative minds to come together and really focus on the individual brand that they're designing and creating for.
And not overlap, so that you don't have...
we definitely don't want to cannibalize any of the businesses, and that when you have two big surf brands in house, you got to make sure they have their own handles and look different, and they each have kind of a different target market, whether it age or whether it the consumer itself and what their likes and preferences are in that category. So
can you give us a little description? It's 5 now, the 5 different
Yep.
brands. Can you give us a little description of each one, starting with, I guess, the flagship?
Yeah. So O'Neill is the cornerstone of the business, and O'Neill was started in 1952. The vision of Jack O'Neill, who, he was the one that put the first wetsuit in the water, and he just wanted to surf longer, and that from there O'Neill was born, and the neoprene wetsuit came to market, and about 17 years ago, Jolla Group acquired the license for O'Neill clothing and started to build really the lifestyle side of the O'Neill brand. So we continue today to push the vision of Jack O'Neill, who's a living legend still in Santa Cruz, lives right over Pleasure Point, and we've really been able to build a great collection of apparel and accessory products to really tell the story and the history of the brand, being one of the great American surf brands and really one of the first. So that's the O'Neill story. On the Rusty side, we saw an opportunity. The Rusty brand has been so strong over the last 20 years, and coming together with the license holders of Rusty, we've built a great line of apparel and accessories as well to cater to the surfer that's been a fan of Rusty, and now has a whole new product offering and a whole new face.
Is it more like classic versus youthful, or?
I'd say it's a collection. There's balance between classic and youth, and really revolutionary products as well. I mean, the whole Wired series itself is something that's completely new to the industry, has been received well at retail, and has been a hot item. So that we put a lot of weight in that category, and we've expanded into all types of products in that category, not only hooded fleece, but a number of different items in snowwear, and even rash guards and items that are being used in stand-up paddle now. So yeah, so it's just the breadth of the collection reaches a vast amount of consumers. So it's been something that's been exciting for us and has a little bit different edge, having a bit different history in that Rusty Friesendorfer was a board maker and still is. He's a shaper. Yeah. So it's, we kind of take that history and package not only vintage surf, but with, a young consumer as well that's, got interests that are, not only in board sports, but skateboarding and a number of the other, action sports. So. We partnered with those guys in 2008 as well, and we came together with Brian Deegan and Larry Linkogel and really took a garage operation that they had The two professional athletes, they kind of grew their business to a point to where they needed a new backbone and the operating facilities to kind of take it to the next level. And that's where we came in to partner with those guys and have built an amazing story in moto. I mean,
was it kind of a surprise that, this company traditionally that did surf and skate, that they dabble into moto? I can't remember any other company really.
I think, early on we decided that, we build apparel here. We're really good at design and merchandising, and that kind of is our business, kind of the premise that product is king. It's something that, we're able to bring to companies that, have a great opportunity yet may not have the expertise, the capital, or the product knowledge to really expand and reach a broader consumer. And that's what we brought to the Mulisha, and partnering with those guys and taking, what they kind of had built, which was this, big team in freestyle motocross that was, just kind of a crew that kind of stood out from supercross and kind of the conventional moto, and brought, tricks and flips and, all kinds of different riding styles to the sport. So, that's been a great story for us. I mean, the growth has been double and triple digit over the last 4 years, and the future for it is just amazing as these as the team ventures beyond freestyle moto into the off-road space and kind of getting into the four-wheeled sports as well, even NASCAR. So that's been something that
NASCAR.
The reach of the Mulisha these days is far-reaching from just freestyle moto.
So are we going to see Jolla Group take over like a race car division?
With Brian Deegan, who's become a premier driver in the Lucas Oil off-road racing championship series. I mean, he's a division winner and is a great driver. He's been venturing into NASCAR, and you never know with him. I mean, he's definitely built a portfolio for being a great driver, and I think he's got a great opportunity to be something big in NASCAR as well, and be great for the brand.
Right.
So we're very supportive of it.
Okay. Going on to your streetwear?
Yeah, so True Love and False Idols, which came on in January of 2010. That for us has just been, it's been an amazing story in that the product is so much different than surf and moto, and caters to a completely different consumer. It's definitely fun. It's exciting. It's kind of opened a lot of doors into new distribution for us as well, retailers that we hadn't otherwise spoken to in the past with surf and moto. A number of different higher end boutiques, even larger major accounts like Metro Park, with surf and moto kind of being the two biggest players in action sports right now. A lot of retailers have looked to diversify their product assortments and bring in street like LRG and Obey, and True Love and False Idols fits in perfectly with those assortments on the retail floor. So, I think it's a developing category that, is very driven by art and music and, not so much action sports. So it's definitely for that consumer that, has shown, the appetite for really, being able to wear a number of different brands. And, these wardrobes that we see kids wearing are not so, brand loyal anymore. It's basically if you make good product and it's cool, they're going to wear it. And, so we've been able to carve out a space for True Love and False Idols. It's very product driven, and the story behind it is cool. Alex Two-Tone, who's one of the creators of the brand, was a graffiti artist growing up in Venice Beach. So, we've taken his creative abilities and kind of his flair and art and put that into product, and it's really been a successful, formula.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he had the label before you guys picked him up, or you helped develop the label with him?
No, he had the label.
And did you say what year that was?
That was in January of 2010.
Oh, so very recent.
Yeah, so it's a year old for us, and we've opened a lot of doors with it, and the potential is just, it's looking really, really exciting.
Now, did I miss any?
In God's Hands, which is, it's a faith-based brand.
Very interesting.
We started that brand with Lauren Lusk, who was married to Jeremy Lusk, who died in February of 2009 in a freestyle motocross accident. And In God's Hands was a tattoo that he had across his chest. And being a Christian, it was something that was, super important to him. He had a huge fan following and was a sweetheart to motocross. And we got together with Lauren, and she had a vision to create a line around the In God's Hands inspiration, and we've done just that over the last 8 months. So that offering is not only apparel, it's also jewelry, and can be found in a lot of the better boutiques and finer department stores. So it's really in its growth phase now, and it's something that takes us again into a whole nother line of distribution, and it's something that we see, it's going to do really well in the future, and has had a lot of traction behind it. And the story of Lauren and Jeremy is really amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I almost feel like it's like you have children. Like little different.
For sure.
Children.
I mean, hey, you wear a lot of hats when you're dealing with 5 brands on a daily basis, and it's going to expand. So yeah, I mean, it's always a different fire burning every day. Mm-hmm. So we've, from the amount of product that we work on, and the merchandising, and the amount of product we manufacture, and the amount of different marketing plans and strategies we put together on an annual basis. And every brand has its importance to the group, so it's pretty fun and exciting to be able to kind of shift gears into 5 different brands on a daily and weekly basis. So it's we've got a lot of people here that are focused on an individual brand, and a lot of people that are focused on the group of brands. So it's definitely a model where we leverage where we can some of the operations, and that's been something that we've held to, in a formula that's been very successful, and something that we've been able to really turn a profit with. So,
and what are you most proud of in the last 5 years that you?
I think overall growth. I mean, just we've even built a brand out of the La Jolla Group. I mean, we have a lot of people coming to us, and a lot of big and important brands that need our operational platform and expertise to help them build their brands. So that we've become a magnet for some of the best brands in all industries that are apparel focused to be a solution. And I think that has really been exciting, and the amount of doors that's opened, and the amount of conversations we've had has really driven the growth, and is really going to drive our growth over 5 years. So we're really looking to double in size and have a great opportunity to do it, and we're off and running with it. I mean, the workspace that we've built here, and kind of the vision was to build something that, we cater to a number of young people that work for our company. And I think building a 21st century organization was the goal, and really the corporate headquarters had to kind of be an integral part of that plan. And so what we've built here is just something that embraces all of the different action sports and youth apparel components that come into play. And as I take you through the tour, it's probably going to be a lot different than you'd see at a corporation of our size. But hey, everybody here, spends most of their waking hours here, so it's really important for us to, create an environment where they want to hang out. And the up and coming, corporate employee is a lot different with all the social influences that are out there these days, and we're definitely in tune to that, and want to provide an environment where people can really excel, be creative, can bring their passions here. A lot of people here are into the board sports, and into moto, and into,
because the surf was good yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely hey, when the surf's good, there's people surfing, and that's cool. It's part of the culture and the lifestyle, and it's something that we definitely want to breed. It's you can't fake it. We definitely want to keep people motivated here, and the work schedule can be flexible. Hey, as long as you're getting your work done, it doesn't matter what time you're doing it. That's kind of the attitude and the approach we've taken.
I think there's going to be a lot of people in the Irvine Business District watching this that are going to be very jealous.
Yeah, it's definitely different. We've taken an approach to motivate our employees that is pretty groundbreaking. It's definitely youthful, and if you look at it, people aren't only showing up to work these days to work from 9 to 5 and collect a paycheck. It's about how they engage with what you're building and your strategic plans, and everybody's a part of the growth plan around here, and we try to keep everybody really in tune with what we're doing, and whether it's the weekly blog I write for our intranet just to keep our employees up to speed with events and what's happening, and that's been a medium that we've really used to educate people here. We want everybody tied in, and everybody motivated, and whether it's an energy drink or an apple or free lunch or whatever, it's that's what motivates people these days. It's as much social as it is a place to come to work, and we've really tried to create something that people will hang out all day, and will helps us retain our employees and keeps people stoked. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, whether you find me in in what they call the Shark Tank in here, we have myself, the president, and the VP of operations sitting in the Shark Tank. But hey, I come from a background of kind of growing up within a small company, and wearing a lot of hats, and I know that relationship is everything in the workplace, and I don't, I cater to whatever, the need is on a daily basis. And, I think being approachable and, even being friends and whatnot with the people you work with is key. I hang out with people at work and after work, and, all the different events that we participate in, whether it's off-road racing or, surfing or, you name it, wakeboarding. It's a social experience in and out of work, and I think that's part of the environment that we've created here. Is nothing's really off limits. It's not a coat and tie organization where there's a ton of back end politics in play. It just I think we've really tried to keep kind of the political environment to a minimum, and have done a good job of it. So.